What's up, guys? It's Kennedy. And so, first of all, don't mind all this. This is all my photography stuff that I did last semester at college, and I was just very proud of it. I know it seems very egotistical to have myself on my wall, but I promise that's not what's happening. Um, but right now it is currently 11:30 at night on Sunday the 9th of June. And I kind of just wanted to take a moment and talk about the Tonys for a little bit because I have a lot of mixed feelings about them. Um, so yeah, let's get into it. So first off, I want to say there was a lot of really great nominees this year, like musicals wise, and then like actors and actresses. But I feel like, and this, I'm also kind of biased because I haven't seen or listened to a lot of the shows that have been nominated, mainly because their albums aren't out yet. Um, but I just feel like that, and I can be totally wrong, and you guys can have your opinions, whatever. But I feel like the prom was robbed quite a bit because I know I feel with this story, especially just because of what I went through. But I also feel that Be More Chill wasn't nominated at all, except for the score, and they didn't even win for that. And I think Be More Chill is a fantastic show, and I would love to see it one day. But I just feel like the whole time they were setting up for Hadestown to win. Hadestown won so many awards. They won, like lighting design, which lighting design for that was phenomenal. I'll give them that. But I don't know, just due to the broad range of shows that they had nominated, I don't feel like they deserve to win. And that could just be me because I haven't seen it or listened to it or whatever. I have a couple friends who I got into a debate on Twitter about how I was like, I don't think this deserves to win, whatever. And then they were like, well, it's a really good show. And I was like, okay, calm down. But I don't know. I have a lot of thoughts about the winners for this year. I do think that Celia Keenan Bolger deserved her win for Scout and Mockingbird because she has deserved a Tony for so long. I personally thought she should have won a Tony for Putnam, but that's just me. And the plays, I don't really follow the plays. I know that Mockingbird wasn't nominated for Best Play, which I was very confused because it's pretty good. I love To Kill a Mockingbird, and it's probably one of the few books that I've read that I actually enjoyed reading. So I was very surprised that it didn't win. Sorry, I'm looking at the list of them now. After seeing the Hades performance, I do agree with the fact that Andre Shields won for Best Featured Actor because he was very good in the Hadestown performance. I was very proud of Miss Ali Stoker for winning the Featured Actress in a Musical for Oklahoma because she is the first person to perform on Broadway in a wheelchair. And to me, that's just such a thing, and it's like Broadway is coming so far that we're able to it's kind of bad that we were able to say that in 2019, but it's also really good. I was at a party tonight watching the Tonys, and there was a lady who was kind of upset about it because of the character that she's playing. She's like, she has all these dance numbers, and I was like, well, okay, let's just take a moment and realize how important this is and stuff. But I'm so proud of her. I remember watching her in Glee, and now she is in a leading role in the revival of freaking Oklahoma on Broadway, which is crazy. Boys in the Band won for Best Revival of Play, which I have heard very good things about that, and it's got some really great actors in it. And then I don't know, I have a lot of beef with, I guess, Hadestown in general because it's kind of swept the board, and I feel like there were so many other things that deserved the awards. Like Oklahoma, and I feel like I should probably get my theater card revoked for this, but I'm not a fan of Oklahoma. It's just I don't know, just the music to me is so okay, it kind of gets repetitive, and I personally think that Kiss Me Kate should have won. They just released their album on Friday, and it is beyond amazing. And I kept talking to my mom about, Stephanie Styles, the girl who played Catherine in Newsies when we went to go see it in 2012 when it was in Texas, to whatever year it came. She's in the revival. She's so good, and whatever. And she's like, okay, Kennedy, calm down. But I don't know. I feel like, and obviously I can't this is just my opinion because I haven't seen most of these shows, but Bryan Cranston winning for Network versus Jeff Daniels and Mockingjay. Don't know how I feel about that. I have heard that Network is really good and that he was really good, but I just think that Jeff Daniels deserved the Tony. But that's obviously my opinion. Not everybody's gonna like it, but yeah. And then I was very, very glad that Santino Fontana won for Best Actor in a Musical because his portrayal of just the whole thing in Tootsie is just phenomenal and amazing. And then there's a side note to that I'll do at the end of this video. But in the one, there's two that really irk me is Stephanie J. Block, Best Leading Actress, and don't get me wrong, I love Stephanie J. Block. She's amazing, phenomenal actress. I just feel like Caitlin Crennan, who was nominated for The Prom, who plays Emma in The Prom, is a phenomenal actress, and she's taken this character to so many other levels, and that I think that, yes, Stephanie J. Block's impression of Cher is amazing, and I know it's really hard to do an impression of somebody 8 days a week for 8 shows, but I just feel like Caitlin Crennan she's become an inspiration to, I know, a lot of young girls who like Broadway and like theater, because Caitlin Crennan came out and said that she doesn't define her sexuality, she's dating a girl, and I feel like that her saying that was moving to many people, and I was very, very hurt that she didn't win, because I feel like it would have been such a good stepping stone for the Broadway community to have a not straight person win the Best Leading Actress in a Musical award. And Prom, I think The Prom is so underrated. I mean, don't get me wrong, it's not underrated, but like it's just, I don't know. I can't like describe it in words, but I guess it's just because it's something that resonates with me, and I did have trouble with my prom back in high school, but I wanted to go in a suit, and it was this whole thing, and but I don't know. I just felt a lot with The Prom, and the Cher show. Like I've heard that it's great, but it's like the Cher show. It's about somebody who's already alive and has already done things, and The Prom is something that everyone can relate to in some way or another, and I just felt like it kind of deserved to win at least one award. It didn't win any, and I was kind of upset about that, because most of the time when a show doesn't win any Tonys, then it kind of closes down, and I know that won't happen with The Prom because its fan base now is crazy and the tickets are insane to get, and I'm planning a trip to New York soon, but like I can't find tickets for it because they're all sold out until like next year. But I don't know, that brings me to the next point of Hadestown winning Best Musical. Now, I don't know a lot about Hadestown, like I said before, but I feel like I was reading the synopsis about it, and I personally love Greek mythology, and I was obsessed with it for a little while, but the story that it follows isn't one, I don't know, personally isn't one that I would want to portray in a musical. I have heard from several people that the music and the way they have put together the show is amazing, and that's what makes it good, and that it's a story that doesn't get told often. And while I will take them on their word, I also feel like that's the same thing with The Prom, and that's kind of why I had a hard time accepting the fact that Hadestown took the win for almost everything. And I don't know, I just feel like there's so much that they could have done with giving The Prom at least one win, and I know that it wasn't like the Tonys giving them a win, it was everybody who voted and whatever, but I don't know, I just feel like giving The Prom a win for a Tony Award could have done so much with Broadway and the LGBTQ community, and I know it's gotten better over the past couple years, but I don't know, I just feel like, and obviously like this is me right after watching the Tonys, so my opinions might still be biased because I'm a little upset, but it's fine. I just think that Hadestown is very overhyped, and obviously that might change whenever I watch it, and I may end up doing another video that like totally discredits this whole one after I listen to it, but I don't know, I just feel like so much could have been given to something that wasn't Hadestown. Hadestown received the score versus Be More Chill, which Be More Chill wasn't even nominated for anything, which I think is crazy. But so yeah, I have a lot of mixed emotions, but yeah, there's something else that I want to say, but I forgot what it was. I remembered my point. So, sorry, my hat got annoying. I know there's like 2 different shots, but it's okay. So when I was at this party tonight, there was a woman at the party. I'd never met her before. I went and did a viewing party with a bunch of my like adult friends that are like late 20s and up, and there was one lady who I had to keep my mouth shut because when I talk about certain things I'm passionate about, I tend to go overboard, and I didn't want to do that because I'd like just met her, and I might be doing a show with her soon, and I didn't want to like leave a bad impression. But there was something that one of the winners said that really resonated with me, which was, I don't remember the exact quote, but it was something about Broadway needs to stray away from the from white, cis, and male. And I was like, wow, that's so like such a true statement, because in my opinion, if you ask me, I've done research on this, and so most of my facts are credited, that almost every single show that features a male lead, and part of it is the way that it's written, but they are portrayed by a straight white man. And obviously, like, that's gonna be what it is if that's how it's written. But there's so many things that Broadway is a beacon for. Broadway is a beacon for theater kids who want to do this as their passion, and it's also a big thing I've noticed with a lot of my friends who are part of the LGBTQ community. It's a place where they feel accepted because of shows like The Prom and Hedwig and Falsettos and and Rent and all the shows that it talks about that it's okay to be gay and that it's okay to be who you are and not be afraid. And so I feel that Broadway is taking steps towards being more inclusive to everyone, but there's a lot that they have to still do. With The Prom, they've done phenomenal, and the female lead, one of the female leads is a person of color, which is great, and she portrays a gay woman, which is amazing. And yes, she's still straight, but obviously you're not gonna please everyone by casting a gay woman in a gay woman role, which is fine, but at least that representation is still there. And then you have the issue of everyone, mainly everyone who was nominated in any type of creative category was a male. I'm not going to say white male because they weren't all white, but they were male, older males. And then you have the director of Hadestown, who is a woman, and then you have the composer of Hadestown, who is a woman. They both won, which I was really happy about because they were women, and that doesn't happen a lot in any type of media. There's not really women directors that get nominated or win anything, so this was like a really big step for women's rights as well. But then there was something that Bryan Cranston said later before his acceptance speech that it was kind of like a borderline, didn't know whether to laugh or didn't know whether to be offended, and he said, finally, a straight white man wins something. He was like, a straight old white man wins something. And it was funny at the time, but now that I look back on it, he was kind of poking fun at the academies of everything, because it's always straight white men who win everything. And I think that's something to be said and something to be talked about, and it needs to change. And I know that there's been a lot of change recently in TVs and movies, and even Broadway with openly gay characters. And most of the TV shows that are on now, there's at least one gay character, and this is what we were talking about at the party today, and yes, we're making steps towards that, but it's not where it needs to be. It's not a full inclusion kind of thing, and there's all these arguments out there, well, if you have these gay characters, then my kids are going to turn gay, and da-da-da-da. That's not the case. It's not a case of your kids turning gay. It's a case of your kids not feeling accepted for who they are because they don't have anyone to look up to. I know that was my problem for a while, up until junior year, I didn't have any like person to look up to, and I ended up looking up to a character in a TV show, and then she ended up dying, and I was like, well, what did that say about me? So I think that it's important to, you know, kind of take these issues and not take them lightly, and realize that what we say and what we do in these broad spectrum of worldwide events, movies, TV, Broadway, that we take the time and be inclusive with the casting and the directing and the choreography and everything like that, and understand that having these people in these roles isn't a bad thing. It isn't a money move. It's a way to give hope to future generations that yes, you may feel different, but you can do the same things that these other people do. So yeah. But yeah, that was my Tony's rant. I know that it was very long, and I'm sorry, I just had a lot to say about it. Also, the side note that I was talking about earlier was Santino winning the Tony was amazing, and I still remember this to this day. When I was about 12, 13, I went to New York for the first time on a trip with my dad, who was an administrator at the school I ended up going to, and he took us all on the trip that he was going on with the school, and we ended up seeing Cinderella opening week on Broadway with Santino Fontana and Laura Osnes, which is, now that I think back on it, I'm like, holy crap, like I saw the two legends live on Broadway, but at the time, obviously, I didn't know who they were. I wasn't invested in theater like I am now. But I'm glad that he came that far from playing Prince Topher in Cinderella to playing Dorothy in Tootsie, which is crazy. So yeah. Anyway, guys, I hope you enjoyed this video. Again, sorry for how long it is. Just had a lot to say. Wanted to speak my mind. And I'm hoping to get back to doing more of these. I'm taking a break from theater right now to try and work more, but I'm going on a trip with my family this summer, so I'll try and vlog that. And I might do a couple life updates soon, show you guys videos of the shows I've been doing. But yeah, that's it. Good night, good morning, good whatever time you're watching this.